Hello, this is John Dauer, a psychotherapist in San Antonio, Texas. 10 minutes. How to help yourself with an open mind. And today's topic, thinking brain, feeling brain. How the thinking brain and the feeling brain can work together. Or we may find that the feeling brain wants to fight with the thinking brain. So we look at those three feelings: angry, sad, and scared for a moment. There's a man so full of anger and fury that he wants to strike out, and other people get hurt. And how does he hurt himself? Or a person full of deep sadness dies by suicide. Or there's a person full of anxiety and fear, so frozen that she doesn't leave the house, much less want to live among others. So the question comes, maybe it's good that we ignore those feelings or push them away. I'm not feeling angry. Or we hear somebody say, don't cry, it'll be better. Or don't you dare get mad. So, does it do us well to stuff our feelings? Or does it hurt us in the long run? And maybe we cripple ourselves and even suffer harm physically. So, on the other side, maybe it is much better to learn how to identify those feelings, own them, and then express them in such a way so that the feeling brain takes over. And we end up realizing that those feelings have actually an energy that help us achieve more in life. So, looking at the family of feelings, hopefully we are learning how to manage our lives so that we're living those top four. And we know about those bottom three. In fact, I designed the triangle because if you find one of them, you ought to look for the other two. And by doing that, you actually reduce the intensity of the feelings. You know, in the world of children and teens, they're mostly feeling brain. And parents, hopefully, are the substitute thinking brain that help the teenager, the child, eventually have their own thinking brain that manages their impulses. I have put together a little memo about the feeling brain and the thinking brain. And I'd like to share it with you so that later you may want to send me your email, and I'll be glad to send you a copy so you can explore it. So, again, as we try and figure out, are my feeling brain working nicely with my thinking brain? Or is my feeling brain trying to fight my thinking brain? Let's take a moment and look at that feeling brain. It would like us to believe that life should be easy and free of any emotional trouble, that life should be always happy. Some people call it the beast brain because it can be very destructive and it can seduce us into doing things that harm ourselves. People with alcohol problems, addictions of drugs, or other crooked behaviors realize very soon that their lives are not going anywhere. And maybe it's like a slow death. But that feeling brain can be so powerful, it wants us to believe, pretending it's the thinking brain to teach us, oh, you don't have to put up with that. Life is easy. You don't have to work. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. So, on the other side, what's the thinking brain like? The thinking brain is really our subconscious mind, our inner mind. I would call it our pilot. And its job is to take us through life and fly the plane where we want it to go. So the thinking brain ought to be there to manage those feelings versus the feeling brain takes over and knocks down the thinking brain. And so the thinking brain sets goals, gives ourselves a structure, teaches us how to discipline ourselves to say no for long term rewards. We could say that the thinking brain is like the captain of the ship that knows where it's going and sets sail in a good direction to reach the shore. And now, what's important is that if we've spent much of our life with that feeling brain dominating, taking over all parts of us, maybe the sleeping brain is like a giant, waiting for us to help it wake up and change direction in our life and redefine ourselves and undergo a change, a transformation. But if we've had a whole lifetime of that kind of domination by the feelings, what do we do? The most important thing is that we start by learning how to take a time out almost every day. It could be as little as 5 minutes by which we take quiet time to think about and examine how we talk to ourselves and to identify all our negative thinking and how we bathe ourselves with those emotions. And then we learn effective self talk, which is like food for the thinking brain to give it strength to be in charge. For example, we take those three feelings: angry, sad, and scared. Yes, I am feeling angry. It's expressing it. But the final word is by the thinking brain. And I am doing everything necessary to let go of it and reset my goals and go forward with my new life because that is better. Or somebody is suffering a hurt because they were rejected by somebody else. Man, that hurts. I feel so alone. And I take a deep breath and I put my feet down on the ground and I'm going towards my new goals. I'm so frozen. I don't want to go there today. And I remind myself that I have within me the inner resources to take charge again and to push myself out the door. I'm doing it. So that's how we take the time out to work on educating our thinking brain to work strongly to control that feeling brain. And we realize that our ship is sailing in the right direction. So, again, I'll be glad to send this to you. Here's my email. And I appreciate your time in taking a look at this. And what's interesting is how your mind continues to process it after we finish. I hope to be back with other interesting subjects. Again, thank you.